Well. Sorry, I haven't been online, y'all, much. Um, I've been wanting to talk about this for quite some time. Um, and the reason I want to talk about this, and even though it's totally late, it just pretty much sums up what all these politicians were about, or are about, I'm sorry. Um, and yeah, I did a video like doing this, but I totally like it was just lame, so I trashed it and just kind of got around to doing it right now. So I just think it's kind of yeah. Anyway, I'm gonna give my opinions about each one of these cats. Like when I play this particular thing on the debate, it pretty much sums up what they're all about when it comes to what they supposedly are running for. And definitely, there's no you don't really hear anything about black reparations, anything but that. And that's the point. Anyway, yeah, I'm going to just play the video and give you my opinions.
President Obama in his first year wanted to address both healthcare and climate. And he could only get one signature issue accomplished. It was obviously healthcare. He didn't get to do climate change. You may only get one shot, and your first issue that you're going to push, you get one shot that it may be the only thing you get passed. What is that first issue for your presidency? Eric Swalwell, you're first.
For Parkland, for Orlando, for every community affected by gun violence, ending gun violence.
Senator Bennett.
All right, if you really want to end gun violence, let's start tackling these white supremacist terrorists. They are the leading cause of that. And their domestic terrorism never really is checked like that. So, I mean, if you could bring down groups like the Black Panthers, you can do the same thing for all these white supremacist groups that that a lot of this ideology comes from. So, I mean, there's a lot of things that you need to consider when it comes to that.
Climate change and the lack of economic mobility Bernie talks about.
Senator Jones.
Okay. You guys probably educate me more on the whole climate change thing. Can they actually change the climate? But as far as the economic thing I'm concerned about is a lot of black Americans. A lot of the black Americans, a lot of us we are the poorest when it comes to economic wealth. We don't have resources. And basically the wealth gap is getting wider. So this guy talks about, wealth, but he's not addressing reparations. None of these people, well, these two, well, yeah, I'll get to that. I'm sorry. I just had a thought. I'll come back to that thought. But again, it's not addressing reparations, man. Like seriously. And talking about just giving vague things about the wealth when it's not specific, I can't roll with that. I don't even know who this guy is, to be honest.
Passing a family bill of rights that includes a national paid leave plan, universal pre-K, affordable daycare, and making sure that women and families can thrive in the workplace no matter who they are.
Okay. Again, daycare? Maybe I'm being petty. There's some of us that actually do homeschool our children, but I don't know. I'm curious what you guys think about it. And again, reparations is not being addressed here. A lot of the things, if we had our wealth on point, a lot of those things would be even taken care of as far as self-education. And, I think family-wise, we could come together as well, But yeah, you guys give me your opinion on this person. I don't know who she is either. Anyways.
Oh, I like that.
That was pretty good. Senator Harris.
So passing a middle class and working families tax cut,
That's one.
DACA, guns.
Okay. I'm giving you credit for the first thing you said, the tax cut. I got you. Senator Sanders, first thing.
The premise.
Sorry Sorry, guys. I tried to pause it before I got to burn, but I think it's funny. Kamala Harris, oh brother, yeah, anything but reparations for black people. Um, yeah, because she can't just do. She could stick up for the whole DACA thing. She could stick up for gun violence or whatever, or not for it, but talk about gun violence, but doesn't want nothing to do with black reparations as far as like addressing us, because she doesn't want to do anything for black people. No. Yeah. It's funny because the thing about her, I'm not gonna go into the whole second debate because this particular debate sums up what they're all about. But the second debate, she had the nerve to try to point her finger at Joe Biden when to try to get all the heat off of her. Kamala, we have not forgotten about you. No matter how much you call out Joe Biden, you have a bunch of fingers pointing back at you because of your policies and what you've done. Talk about Joe Biden all you want, but you have a track record that ain't good either. Plus, you're not trying to do anything for black people specifically. No. So I have something to say to you. You're not going to get my vote? No. Exactly.
That there's only one or two issues out there. This
I'm not saying
country
there's one or
faces
two.
enormous crises.
Senator
We need
Sanders.
a political revolution. People have got to stand up and take on the special interests. We can transform this country.
Fine.
Right. Okay. Yeah, Bernie has to give his little, propaganda revolutionary speech. Whatever. This is the dude that says that reparations for black people are not feasible. Yet he'll brag about marching with Dr. King and, funny thing is, Dr. King, actually it's not funny, but I'm just saying strange isn't funny when it comes to Bernie Sanders. Dr. King was about reparations. Dr. King was the one that said, we're coming for our checks. We're coming to get our checks. But Bernie Sanders thinks it's not feasible for us to get reparations yet. His fellow Ashkenazi, he supported as far as reparations. He was all about it. But yet it's not feasible for black people? Are you serious, man? And all that revolutionary talk doesn't mean anything when you're not necessarily addressing people specifically, dude. Yeah, he's all hype to me, y'all. I'm skeptical of him. I just, anyway, you guys probably heard things that I've said already, so let's move on.
Vice President Biden, your first issue, Mr. Vice President.
I think you're so underestimating what Barack Obama did. He's the first man to bring together the entire world, 196 nations, to commit to deal with climate change immediately. So I don't buy that. But the first thing I would do is make sure that we defeat Donald Trump.
Okay.
Period.
Mayor Buttigieg, you're...
Before we get to booty gag, let me get on this cat. Yeah, that's the thing. Everybody wants to get Donald Trump out of office. I don't like him either. But I just think it's so funny. I've gotten in a bunch of debates, you guys. Those who follow me on Facebook probably sees my page. With friends, they're just really sold on getting a Democrat in there. Even if they're not sold on Biden, but they just think that all of my fellow ADOS don't give up. They think basically that you've given up because you're not voting for any of these cats. Biden had the nerve to... It's funny with him because he's steadily trying to live in the shadow of Obama. It's the first thing he mentioned. And dude, why would I want to vote for a person that not only was a segregationist, but also was the vice president of someone who pretty much didn't really pay attention to black people in that regard as well, and had the nerve to sign a Blue Lives Murder law. You guys know what I'm talking about. That's what I call it. To let these race soldiers off. And so many people were killed under him. That's not cool. I can't, and why didn't he go after the white supremacist terrorists as well? From the race soldiers to these dang militias to freaking these shooters, you know, going in the churches and stuff. I mean, just anywhere. I mean, nah, dude. I'm sorry. I cannot be down with Joe Biden. Steadily living in the shadow of Obama, but also was cool with people like Strom Thurmond, segregationist, racist Strom Thurmond. Yeah. And it was all about the segregationist bill and all that stuff. And then had the nerve to, you know, write basically like sanction that mass incarceration under his law, that Biden's law, right? So no, dude, you can talk about Donald Trump all you want, dude. But why would I go from why would I go from a freaking like elephant Donald Trump? I mean an elephant, you know, candidate or you know, well, to a jackass. Yeah, the supposed, yeah, I don't like either one of them, y'all. I don't particularly care for Donald Trump, and I don't want Joe Biden. He's basically like Donald Trump, but on the left side. I don't need any freaking white supremacists to vote for. So, nah, he ain't getting my vote. Now, on to Booty Gag.
First priority, your first issue as president that you are going to block and tackle?
We got to fix our democracy before it's too late. Get that right. Climate, immigration, taxes, and every other issue gets better.
Mr.
Okay. Yeah, democracy, right? Were you so democratic when you told that black lady that you didn't need her vote when she was addressing you about these race soldiers harassing and killing people? Nah, you basically told her, because she said she wasn't going to vote for you, that you didn't need her vote. Well, Booty Gag, you don't need mines either. You basically slapped, you know, black people in the face by telling her that. You're not going to pay attention to the issues of what we go through. So, no, we don't need you, man. I'm not voting for you at all.
Mr. Yang.
I would pass a $1,000 freedom dividend for every American adult starting at age 18, which would speed us up on climate change, because if you get the boot off of people's throats, they'll focus on climate change much more clearly.
Okay, instead of the $6 million man, we got the $1,000 man, Lee Majors, who we call him Lee Minor, I guess, or Yang Minor. Not down with the Yang gang, man. I got my own. So it's just like, this guy, he said the same thing when he was asked about reparations. I swore I saw an interview. Correct me if I'm wrong, you guys, but I swore I saw this interview where he said he would give black people $1,000 a month for reparations. We're gonna need more than that, you know, like, but yet he's saying the same thing in regards to just people in general, $1,000 a month. So how does that, it's like everybody wants to give it when they talk about giving us our tangibles, it has to be not only like what everybody else is getting, but also lower than we're even owed. So nah, I'm not cool with this cat, man. Address us more, Mr. Yang. We want tangibles. We don't want just somebody that's in office. You seem to know all this stuff, but at the same time, you're not doing anything when it comes to our reparations and really addressing us. When it comes to our reparations, we don't want to be addressed just as a part of the general public, because that's all we've been addressed as, if not at all. So, nah, dude, no benign neglect, none of this, you know, putting us with people of color, putting us with, you know, like minority or anything like that. We have specific needs, and we demand that you address these if you want our vote.
Governor Hickenlooper?
I would do a collaborative approach to climate change, and I would pronounce it well before the election to make sure we don't re-elect the worst president in American history.
And Ms.
Everyone's always talking about Donald Trump. You know what? All the presidents were horrible when it comes to black people, when you think about it. So we can talk about Donald Trump all day long. If we elect you, what are you going to do for us? What are you doing now when it comes to black reparations? If you're ignoring it, you're just as bad as Donald Trump. At least he's showing what the heck he is. You, on the other hand, are trying to mask it under some Democrat like BS jargon. Anyways, Hickenlooper.
Williamson
My
with the
first
last
call
word.
was to Prime Minister of New Zealand, who said that her goal is to make New Zealand the place where it's the best place in the world for a child to grow up. And I will tell her girlfriend you are so on, because the United States of America is going to be the best place in the world for a child to grow up.
Ms. Williams,
we are going.
Okay. Is it just me, or does she sound like the dude from South Park, man? Like, and I told your girlfriend, this is going to be the best time. I don't know. I forgot the characters on there, but it just reminded me of South Park. Anyways, okay. Marianne Williamson, I will give her this. She's one of the few that have actually addressed reparations. Unfortunately, not on this. I've seen her interviews on Tone Talks, and I think even Phil from Advice interviewed her. But the thing is, all this hippie, like, freaking jargon is ridiculous, man. Like, that's just, I mean, like, are you just make-believing or what, homegirl? Like, seriously, dude. You know, what are you talking about? Plus, we're not talking about New Zealand. We're talking about here. You know, one thing I will say, though, with her, she brought up the reparations thing on the second debate, but I mean, she got freaking interrupted by Kamala Harris trying to deflect, and you know, because Kamala Harris doesn't want to do anything for black people. No, one thing that Marianne Williams should have did, she should have brought it back to the subject. She should have brought it back. She didn't, and it's, I mean, to let her change the subject on you like that, what the heck? Yeah, man. Even though she's done this stuff, y'all, like, I'm still I'm not sure about her. I want to see actions when it comes to reparations. Not all this loopy hippie crap, man. Come on. You know, like this rainbows and like unicorns and stuff, you know. Who doesn't want to raise their kid in a great environment? That's some general stuff, man. That's very... I'm sorry, you guys. Maybe I'm being mean. I don't mean to be, you know. But yeah, you know, like she didn't bring it up in this debate, but she did bring it up on the second one. But then she let herself be, you know, interrupted by Ms. Harris and got off the subject. So Marianne Williamson, if you're hearing this right now, please, I don't need to actually say please for anything, but I mean, how could I say this? Let's see some more action when it comes to addressing reparations and what you would do and what you are doing to make this stuff go forward. That's what I want to see. Anyway, you guys, let me know what you think. I hope I wasn't too tired sounding or going around. Let me know if I'm clear. I'm sorry if I'm not. And yeah, I hope to hear from all of you guys. Peace.